It's impossible in an American accent. I don't know how Americans do it.
That sucks.
A lot of my preparation was to do with me being in the gym. I trained for quite a few months before I started. It's something I've done before for Kingsman, for example, because I'm not always in, the best shape. But the guy I play, Jimmy Keane, was in outstanding physical shape at the time of this story. And also, to be honest as well, I think I felt that there was a kind of narcissism written into him and a kind of self-absorption written into him that I felt it would be good for him to be in good shape. So that was a lot of my prep. And then, of course, all the other serious, secret acting work I do in preparation for a role.
Studying Dennis Lehane's writing, deciding what Larry Hall wants from moment to moment throughout the series, and to decide how Larry Hall feels about Jimmy Keane. There was some prep in that, and then also I did some physical prep. When I was offered the role of Larry Hall, I was like 286 pounds. And I went and lost 40 pounds and got down to 246 just so I would look more like Larry because I was pretty bloated at that time. And that was difficult. That was very tough to lose 40 pounds in 7 weeks and commit to keeping all that weight off on the 5 or 6 months it took to shoot the show.
So what's really hard is the word particularly. It's impossible. It's impossible in an American accent. I don't know how Americans do it. Hats off. I did lose my British accent. I do a sort of Chicago accent. And I have to say that I had a dialect coach who's become a very, very good friend.
Oh, doing that high-pitched voice and saying some of the dialogue I had to say and having to think those thoughts. Because Larry says some really messed up stuff. And when you can't just say it, you have to believe it when you're saying it. So to momentarily have to believe what Larry believed, that sucks.
I suppose one of the challenges that I enjoyed most is that character is, for a lot of the story, giving a performance. So there's a kind of extra layer to it where you're playing somebody who is playing somebody. And that's a really fun challenge. That's not something I feel like I've done before.
Playing real people is interesting because you have a study guide, whether the study guide is the person's journals or photographic evidence or videos on YouTube. It can be very, very helpful to have those things at your disposal when you're trying to craft a character before playing it on camera.
When you first meet him, you feel that he is unhappy, arrogant, and through reading the scripts and, seeing how the story unfolds, I learned that changes about him. He learns many things, but he's absolutely learns humility. And that was interesting to watch him go through that change. And I think as an actor, you're normally looking for characters that change. And the things I like about him, he's confident, he's charming, he's probably quite fun to be around.
Trying to make the character human. I didn't want it to be a caricature. I didn't want it to be over the top and too broad. And I wanted there to be pacing where you didn't really see the extent of his unhinged, troubled nature until later in the show. So it's sort of like having a fully cooked meal and then having to parcel it out and feed people bites when you have this whole meal behind the curtains. So knowing how to dole that out and how to feed people bits of information via performance, that's tricky. That's tough.